Hi, my name is Peter. I'm 22 years old, and for the past 8 years, I've been living on the road and off the grid with my family, documenting our journey on our YouTube, The Epic Family Road Trip. Today, I'm sharing my adventures on my own channel, The Adventure Guys. My dream is to show you the remote places of the world by land, air, and sea, and to one day buy some land and build a homestead.
Welcome back to the channel. This week I'm back. I made it back from an incredible 2-week expedition. I was gone actually as a camera operator on this trip, as some of you may know. This was an expedition with the group known as Expedition 7. They're an amazing group of people led by really an incredible guy, Greg Miller, and they've done a whole lot of stuff. They don't really need an introduction if you're in the overland space. And this one was actually unique in the way that it wasn't overlanding. Lando's looking at what he thinks might be a snake under some rocks. But this wasn't an overlanding journey, it was a on-river expedition. It was on river boats. As I said, I'm not going to get too into the details, just to save it for the movie and the videos when they come out, which will most likely be in a few months. But it was really something incredible that I'm very thankful to have been a part of. But yeah, it was an amazing trip. I'm super proud and thankful to have been able to go on it. As I said, in probably like 6 months or 5 months, I don't really know what the schedule is for editing all the footage we got is, but it'll most likely turn out to be a 3-part series published on the XO network first and then eventually to YouTube, or maybe just straight to YouTube. I don't know all the details, but I would look at a timeline, something like that. But a lot of amazing stuff happened. I learned a lot. I got to experience thousands of miles of adventure in a way I hadn't really expected. It was almost in tune with my recent endeavor and launch into sailing, which was cool. It was all water-based, it was all on boats. Of course, they're powered boats on rivers, but still, I felt like I got my sea legs pretty good on that trip, standing around filming in the waves and in bumpy river rapids and all that, and it's an experience I'll never forget. So I'd love to show everyone more. I just also want to keep it a bit of a secret and make everyone excited for these videos, because I'm very excited to see how they turn out. So that's that. And now that I'm back, I'm really excited to be getting back into sailing, getting back into all this. I have a lot of work to do on my own boat. I'm a little concerned because it's been super rainy and almost haily over the last few weeks that I was gone. It's rained pretty much all day today until this evening. It kind of cleared up and became beautiful. So I want to see how my boat held up, if I closed it up all properly or if it's all watertight. And make sure it didn't get too humid in there, because that's something with sailboats, is they can get very humid on the inside and then that causes mildew and mold. And I definitely want to avoid that, because that'd be another thing to clean up before I can get it in the water. So my intention is to definitely, throughout this next week, because it is currently Saturday, I'm going to be working on cleaning and buffing the boat, like what I wanted to do, kind of setting stuff up a little bit better. I'll probably take the cushions back with me here, wash them if I can, and yeah, do a lot of work on the inside of the boat and try to make it a little bit more comfortable, smell nicer. I'll need to pick up some dehumidifier, a dehumidifier of some sort, maybe running off of solar, something I can leave in there, or just those little pucks and packets of, like, you know, silica gel or whatever that stuff is, to put in there to absorb some of the moisture out of the air and protect the boat while it's in storage. So also while I'm working on that, I'll be practicing sailing, working on my other boats, the Beginning and my other Laser. I've still got the epoxy repair to do to the one, and then I've also got more practice to do. So my hope is to meet up with someone in the local town near us where my boat will be in the water. It'll be my home port, essentially. It's fairly close, and someone on a reel on Instagram actually reached out, a guy, Willem. He's a really good sailor himself. He sailed across the Atlantic, as well as many other things, but he's in charge of a lot of the sailing operations up at this town, as well as probably will be the guy who I talked to launch the boat and stuff like that. So he's an important guy to know. And he actually reached out and said that if I was interested in learning how to sail bigger boats, or getting on a bigger boat anyway, that he was the guy to talk to. So my hope is I'll be able to learn from him, maybe get some lessons, or just go out on a ride and watch and learn all I can from that. But at the very least, it's a good guy to get to know. So I don't know, Willem, if you're watching, or Willem, that's my plan, is to meet up at some point and hopefully either learn or just watch and learn and go on a bigger boat, because I've got so much to learn. I was thinking about it a lot when I was on my trip. Quite a few sailboats were actually on these big rivers, and it was a good reminder to me that I actually don't know that much about setting stuff up, like getting the mast up, getting all those, like, their metal cables, all the rigging of the boat itself set up, and then just how to launch. So with all that being said, I've got a big week and summer ahead of me. Very excited about all of it, and I really can't wait to get started. So I really appreciate everyone for watching this video and for watching the last video. It's been a few weeks, but hundreds of people commented, and I loved seeing them all. I could sometimes at night I would check on all the comments, and you know, just I didn't really have time to respond because there's so many, but I looked at all of them and I really appreciate it all. I'm going to do my best to respond now, and I always will in the future. I appreciate all the advice and just encouragement that I get. It is really helpful while creating these videos to have that type of support and knowledge given to me by people that know better and have more experience, and just people that are watching and encouraging. So I really appreciate that, and I hope you guys stay tuned for all the content coming out later as I continue this adventure and learn more myself.
Blueberries. Looks like Dan and Cyrus are back from dropping off the garbage. At least it's not raining now. It's nice to see so many ripe blueberries. There's actually a decent amount. Earlier than I expected. I was thinking more mid-July. I think it'll still definitely be mid-July is when, you know, we can really come out and harvest them. You know, get a lot to freeze and freeze dry for later. Maybe make some jams and stuff. Dan and I are definitely going to focus on that, to collect as much as possible and preserve them for when my mom gets back, especially, but my parents, because I'm sure my mom would hate to have missed the entire blueberry season. By the time August comes around, she'll be at the tail end of it. So it'd be nice to have a lot so that they can you know, experiment with the freeze dryer, freeze drying them, preserving them that way, and then also making preserves like jam, which would be delicious to have. You know, we've seen people, you see them all the time at like fruit stands and stuff. They sell jams and just bags and buckets of blueberries. We get tons around here, so it'd be really cool this year to set aside enough to make enough to last maybe even till winter. Good friend Cyrus Croft, he's Clay Croft's oldest son and good friend of ours, actually came to visit for almost 2 weeks, so he's here right now. Dan and Cy went into town actually to just drop off garbage. It's a weekly chore to keep up with, but we'll just be having fun with him being up here, relax a bit. It's been pretty stormy, you know, typical summer storms. It's washing all the pollen off the trees and cleaning everything up for a beautiful summer, but it's been quite wet and humid. So today is no different. It was raining a lot this morning. It's quite humid and cloudy today. Probably just, again, relax inside, maybe cook some stuff and just be cozy at the island, you know, take a day off before really getting into the thick of it again. I do want to check out my boat. It kind of looked like a sail was ripped on my laser, so I really want to look at that because I had tied it, I left it like halfway set up, like all rigged up. The sail was taken down off of the boom was off, but like the lines were all still in place and everything, and I don't know if that was a mistake, but if it ripped, it may have been my fault. It might have also just been an older sail, but I really hope it wasn't ripped. It may have been my imagination, but when I walked on the island for the first time, I was looking at the mast and it looked like the sail was fraying in spots. So I'll probably head back and check that out, make sure that's not ripped, because that would be really disappointing. I don't know where else to find a sail, and I was really looking forward to just hopping on that thing as soon as it get a good breeze here. I left the main lines in, same with my out haul and my traveler just loosely there. Everything's kind of just loosely placed, so I could quickly put it back together. But I did leave the sail on the mast and just tied it off simply here, just to keep it from flapping. But this is what concerned me when I first walked up, and it does in fact look like it is torn. Unfortunately, that looks like tearing in the sail. I mean, there should be no pressure on it. I don't know why it would have torn. Lando's interested in something down there. Oh man. Yeah, look at that. That is not good at all. It's actually really disappointing. I know if it's a snake, just leave it. Man, so I don't know, guys. It might be from leaving it up like that. Maybe I had a lot of pressure. Sometimes the wind would catch in the pockets of the sail, and then that just tore it. Or is it? This is an old used sail. Maybe it was just weak, and that's all. I don't know. It doesn't seem very good though, and there's holes, tears. It looks like all the way up the sail. Yeah, look at that. It's like the fabric is getting undone everywhere. Like I could almost push my thumb through most of the fabric up there. Certainly not what I was hoping for. Sail is quite an integral part. If it was just one of the lines or even the tiller, it'd be a little easier. Sail's just kind of expensive. I didn't want it to break. I was super happy with this one though, like it being able to actually go out and sail a few times on my laser was a lot of fun. So, I'm in the market again for a sail. So if you guys know anyone with a sail and they want to sell it, I'm in the market. And it can be used, just hopefully it'll last a little longer than 3 or 4, you know, a handful of times of using it. Maybe it was my way of storing it. You guys probably know better. So definitely let me know if, I assume leaving a boat rigged like a little dinghy isn't overly wise. I just thought loosening everything, keeping it like, you know, loosely attached, but mostly taken apart was safe. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. So next thing though is has to do with my bigger boat. Like I had
that knew the CNC 25, or not new, I had my boat, the CNC 25. It also had a Tohatsu 9.8 outboard on it. We took it here because the former owner was working on doing some repairs to it. He said it runs fine. He was just ensuring everything was good. This is the way that it's supposed to be stored, the side up for storage and transport, so it's okay. But the shroud is taken off on the upper unit there. So I'm just gonna put that back together and run a test on this thing this week. I just need to find a boat that's suitable to attach it to. I would do it to our normal outboard, except I don't wanna, there's not really any room there. So we have other boats that I could possibly put it on over at the boathouse, which is something I'll go look at later. So with Sai here, as I said before, I am trying to keep it cozy in the house, at least try to make it cozy. Kind of something like what my mom would do, cooking nice things and making it fun. Just want to make it a little bit nice. So trying to use stuff from our garden. Mom's planted earlier this year. A lot of tomatoes are coming in, the onions look great. I don't really know what this is. It almost looks like rhubarb to me. The dill I just trimmed. We've got nice heads of lettuce, green onions, beautiful basil, thyme, bay leaves. I think that's celery or parsley. Maybe it's a little overgrown. The tomatoes are starting to come in though. There's a few little green ones in there. You can kind of see them hiding out. So they're doing pretty good. And then rosemary, not quite sure. Looks overgrown. And then chives. So incorporating a few of those into the meals is super handy. This garden is small right now. It's more of a test plot for us. I think we have plans to maybe make a greenhouse or make another whole area that's larger. I think a greenhouse is our best bet to control the climate a bit more, because you can kind of tell like the stuff that grows here, some stuff thrives, like a lot of the lettuce actually does really well. The beets have been doing really well. A lot of the root vegetables do good, but stuff like our kale, it's doing all right. It's growing, but it takes longer than usual, and we normally get like a few leaves from it, not like a big enough yield to be worth the amount of effort. So this is kind of like a herb garden, and it's actually really nice, so it's convenient to be able to grab fresh herbs at any moment. So yeah, I'm gonna go in, probably make a loaf of bread of some kind, and we'll just chill and yeah, enjoy the evening.